Hi, this is John. In this video, I will walk you through on how you shall create a staff, that is a user in Dovyo CRM. Move your cursor to the left side nav bar and bring it down to setup. Hit on setup, you shall find staff. Before going to this staff, there are certain mandates that we have to do. For that, toggle your cursor to the branch section, hit on it, you shall create a branch that which staff is getting assigned to which branch with the mobile number and all the mandates given. When you save it, the branch created will be displayed here as you see here. Also, go to setup and there is some more thing that you have to do. Go to MISC section and click on designation. In this designation, you shall create a designation for the destined staff or the employee of your organization and click on save. Thus, several designations will be created. When you put it on in an active mode, this will get reflected in the staff module when you create a staff. So it is very much essential that you have to make this slide button to get activated in the designation and also in the created branch section, such that these created new branches and designations will get reflected in the staff module when you try to create a staff. So, after creating all the essential mandatory things, move your cursor to the left side navbar and scroll down to setup and go to staff section. This is where you will start to create a staff or a user that is an employee of your organization. To be very particular, only the person who has the administrator rights for the account will be allowed or permitted to create a staff. In this create tab, when you hit on it, it will allow you to create or get in the details of a new staff. You will have three tabs named as profile, permissions, and branch restrictions. At first, let me explain to you about what the profile tab speaks of. When you click on the profile tab, it will help you to get all the mandatory and the needed details of a new staff, as like first name, last name, email, phone number, date of joining, date of birth, and their contacts like secondary and primary email, secondary contacts, their addresses, their genders, everything, including the date of anniversary and the spouse details if any. Moreover, from the created branch that you have already done, you can assign an employee for a particular branch and also tag in the respective designation that you have created for an employee. After filling out all the details, you are requested to check in the details, and there are two more things that has to be considered, that is enable privacy. When you check on this enable privacy, this policy will hide the contact information of the staff in the entire Dovyo contacts. Also, when you check in as not a staff member, you can create a record for someone who is not a staff member of the organization. Once done, scroll down to the bottom of the page so that the administrator can assign a new password for this new staff member. Moreover, if the organization desires that the created new staff member ought to become a new administrator, they can give the permission by checking this checkbox as administrator, such that the entire administrator privileges will be taken up or given for this created new staff. Moreover, when they check on send welcome email, a new welcome email will be sent from the Dovyo CRM to their emails or their respective mail IDs. Once done, click on save, such that a new record of an employee is being created and it gets displayed in this list view of the staff model. You may wonder how the created new staff record will look like and what all can be done over there. For that, to the created new staff, when you go inside it, the page will look as such. That is profile, permission, branch restriction, security, and notes, timesheets, and login history. In the profile, you can see the display picture of the employee with certain statistics over here as total logged in time, last month logged time, this month logged time, and so on. Also, the last login time included. So when you scroll down, you can see to it the Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, and the mail IDs if the details have been provided by the employee. To avoid chaos in the workflow, an administrator can grant module-wise permission for every employee, such that the granted permission only will be accessed or visible for an employee. In all the capabilities over here, view on represent that the contracts that is being created only by that specific employee. If I check on this view on, it will only display all the contracts that is being created by that specific employee alone. When I check in the view selected branch, this will display all the contracts of that selected branch alone for that employee. Similarly, when I hit on the view global, this will display all the entire contracts that has been created in the CRM system. Also, when I click on create, edit, delete and export, it will allow the employee to create, to edit and delete and export a contract from the contracts model. If I do not give any permission like delete or export, this will disbar the employee from deleting or exporting the entire contracts of the CRM, such that all the capabilities are similar and for module wise everything will be given. When done, click on save, such that this can be saved. Moreover, there is something called as role over here that speaks of an employee can be given a role-wise permission rather than coming over here and enabling or checking on each and every capabilities for giving permissions. So how this can be done? Before creating staff, you can go to the left side nav bar and hit on setup, where you will find a role section. In this role section, when you click on it, it will enable you to create a new role for an employee. You can see here in the add new role page, you can create a new role for an employee, and from over here itself you can give permissions for the entire models of the CRM with respect to the capabilities that is being displayed. So when you create this and click on save, this will get saved and listed over here, which says that in this employee role there are a total of 55 users. Once done, you can go to setup and in staff, for the created staff, you can give permission role wise. When you give on employee, the entire permission that is being given in the while creating roles will get inherited over here. When you give an employee as the role, the permissions that you gave while creating employee role will automatically get inherited over here. Once done, click on save. Nextly, when the administrator desires to restrict a permission for an employee with respect to the branch, go to branch restrictions tab, click on for which branch this employee should be restricted with and save the changes. This will automatically get saved and the permissions will be restricted to the desired branch alone. To the next part, that is called as security tab. Go to security tab, and if you give allow mobile application for this staff as yes, this will enable an employee to work on the Dovyo CRM's mobile application. Click on for the save changes. You can also create notes for this specific employee if you want to, and you can also look into the timesheet, that is for what all this employee is worked for. It says of this month logged in time, last month logged in time, this week, last week, or for a specific period if you want to look into the activity of the employee, that for what all he has worked on for. And also you can check in the login history for this employee, whether he has logged in through web or through mobile, and what is the log on period, and what is the last activity, and what was the last location, and the log off timing too. This is how a staff is created in the staff model of Dovyo CRM. Thank you.